Hey folks, I'm Aspen Arrow, and today we're back in RimWorld, checking out our dog Fantasia, who unfortunately had their jaw shattered last time. I did want to take a look here, and as you can see, we can't install a denture, so unfortunately we aren't able to fix that without maybe like a healer mech serum. So next day is here, and we're going to go ahead and get inside zone set up in anticipation of finishing our walls here soon. Go ahead and expand our home zone and get to cleaning as the place is a mess after our fight with our first raider. And just at that time, we have an animal migration of tortoises. 8 of them, which will give us some meat and leather. I believe it is reptile leather, which isn't the best, but it's still something we can use or sell. So we'll go ahead and set everything to hunt. And while they're hunting, we're gonna go ahead and try for baby with our married couple. Novo has another food binge, which isn't ideal given our food situation, but we have nowhere to arrest them. So just have to deal with a great loss of food. Did also think about it after our first recording, and I can go ahead and throw down a growing zone and just plant some dandelions for the horse to eat so that it is able to graze. Still probably will need to get some hay. And we're going to go ahead and move on. Noticing that our meat is going to spoil, and even though I thought about going ahead and putting down a fueled stove, we didn't have enough steel, so we'll just have to deal with the increase from the campfire and sacrifice some of our wood. Because I'd rather have the food and the meals than for it to all go bad. You can see Novo's still on his mental break, but we start getting some cooking done to save that meat. And then immediately get food poisoning. Animatry is starting to go well the next morning. We're up to 10 grass, and you can see that Forath still has food poisoning from the night before. Was afraid we were going to get it from the meals, instead got it from the raw meat, which is going to spoil in the next 12 hours to a day, depending on which stack. And we're also working on expanding the base. That evening, we built our first research bench as our dromedary meat spoils, and we passed by the Mechanator or Mechanitor mech, which we won't be destroying right now. With our research bench down, it's time to get stone cutting. And looking around at our comfort levels and just that we keep having breaks, I did decide to go ahead and make some camel hide bed rolls. We unfortunately don't have enough to make a double bedroll for our married couple, but the other 3 colonists can have somewhere to sleep, and it'll increase their comfort and mood a little. And we keep working on our base, getting a small kitchen area and storage room or perhaps prison set up. And we then have an inspiration from Cuz, who has pretty good social, okay melee, and they're tough. So I think we're going to go ahead and send them out for a trade caravan just to get rid of a few things, some leather, the clubs, and probably this high explosive shell so someone doesn't have a breakdown, hit it, and blow up our base. Since Cuz isn't really doing much right now, we will go ahead and bump up her research right while I'm looking at it. for when she gets back, but for now, we'll send her off to Caravan to go visit our neighbors. Take the horse, and as I said, the leathers, the high explosive shells, well, shell, and the clubs and silver. Take a few meals and some herbal medicine to self-tend, which will enable on Cuz. And pretty quickly arrive over at our caravan. Go ahead and trade. I did think about getting the sheep, but really can't feed them, and sheep's wool wouldn't be all that helpful. More looking for something that'll give us food, like milk. Sell all our leather, the shell, clubs. Wasn't a assault rifle that was really tempting to save our money for. It wasn't too expensive, but I think we can do without for now. Don't need components or advanced components. We're growing some cloth. I debated getting some medicine with our impids having challenges healing. But ultimately decided to just purchase some wood, 100 of it, so that we can use our stove that we're getting built while Cuz was out caravanning. And as we watch the harvest botch messages, we can see that our impids are slowly getting better at planting, and our caravan returned home. And with that, we have a stove in, and we're going to go ahead and just set up to make pemmican so that it lasts longer than meals and we're not wasting anything. And in the morning, we have the Praetor quest, or the Wimp quest, hunted by a man-hunting rat. And after looking at and considering our colonists, I decided to go with Forath because Forath isn't terribly good at either shooting or melee. So having some sidecasts would probably be a good thing. This also means that Forath can get some second level sidecast or third level sidecast faster when we get our animatry going. So we'll go ahead and accept for the honor with Forath. And our royal joins us, coming from the bottom of the map. Just go ahead and drop them and bring them into home. Didn't see anything in the sidecast that would really help us. I was thinking, I guess maybe Word of Love, but not really sure that the royal can even come with that. Go ahead and turn them off cooking. Set everybody to stay nearby or inside. It's a rat, so really we should be fine, but just in case. And go ahead and expand our inside zone. You notice we also have some Outlander visitors. They didn't have anything to trade and we're just visiting. And with that, our rat arrives. Can see the royal has a pretty good head start, so shouldn't be a problem. And honestly, just figured the Outlanders would take care of it. Can see the red dot is the rat. A little hard to see on the desert, but that's all right. It's plenty far away, and our Wimp will be here in base shortly. Just set them inside so we don't have to worry about it. And let our guests take care of things. Notice that the horse isn't unloaded, so we'll go ahead and drop everything on the ground. And I believe we're going to change Sezen up to Wholesome and drop down cooking and hunting, just so we're making sure our hauling is getting taken care of. And the rat arrives, and the Outlanders miss quite a bit with their guns. Darn rat's hard to hit. But our kid with a knife is going to save the day. And the rat is vanquished. I debated keeping our royal guest a little longer to help with research, but their mood was already not great, and I didn't want to risk having a breakdown, so sent them off in the shuttle. And we get our title. In the evening, we have another animal migration of iguanas. 10 of them. So we'll assign them all to hunt. However, they were moving across the map pretty quickly, and as such went ahead and pulled our hunters out, plus Forath, who, well, hopefully will get better at shooting someday. Unfortunately, with short bows and a Pila, we don't have very long range to hit these. And I believe because they're small, they're just generally hard to hit. So I decided to go ahead and change everyone to work and hope that they would go hunting. Forgot to take them off of the nearby zone, so redrafted, sent them off. And unfortunately, the AI decides to shoot from the very edge, so you can see that they keep starting to aim. The iguana goes right out of range and they start to aim again. And so I do find that this is frequently why I just do the hunting as drafted. I believe there's a mod to do it as well, but I just draft and do it. And this is a bit of a missed opportunity. I didn't think the iguanas would move across the map this quickly. I guess I'm used to thinking of the animals staying on the map and kind of roaming around in circles. And in this case, we missed out on meat. And we'll need to be a little more cautious in the future given how little food we have. We do manage to get a few of them, but not as many as we could have been. See, Sezen finally hits one, and down it goes. Forath managed to get one, and that's it. And we have yet another animal migration next. We have ostriches, which do have 100% retaliation when they are hunted. So decided to wait till they were a little closer. And again, a bit of a missed opportunity. I need to do better at getting our pawns out there to hunt as these animal migrations go by really quick. And by the time we walk across the map, they're already almost off map. So we're able to hunt just one ostrich. Forath gets a little close for comfort, but with my questionable kiting skills, we're able to take it down. Get us a little more meat and we'll convert that into pemmican in the hopes that we can survive out here in the desert. You can see I thought about trying to hunt the last two, but they were already pretty much at the edge of the map. So an unfortunate miss with our animal migrations here. As we continue on, it is time to fulfill our elder role as we have our prompt here from the game. We're getting a bit of a mood debuff from it. And again, after reviewing our pawns, we can see that Kuz has a social of 10, Forath 6, and everyone else not so great. I did debate not doing the ceremony, as of course the moral guide will have increased expectations, but I felt like getting rid of the mood debuff was probably good, and that Kuz would get a mood boost from doing research most of the time. So go ahead and throw down our ritual spot. And begin our first ceremony. Forath joining from the kitchen. And Kaz talking about her wish to serve a greater purpose, the importances of her new role, some more about the greater purpose, thoughts on her good qualities. Explained thankfulness. So far, pretty good leader things. Thoughts on putting role above her personal desires, which I found humorous, given that her expectations will, of course, increase after this. Talked about strengths and how to leverage them. Desire to serve the community. Future of the colony. And explained her facial hair and how it relates to the role. So I don't know what Cuz is trying to say, but maybe we need a female supremacy, because I don't think Cuz has any facial hair. Have some visitors arrive, said Cuz with the best social out to trade. Was a little perplexed by why we got that message, and went in and realized that Cuz has a scratch on her right ear, which is apparently diminishing her trade. Still, she is our best social. We'll go ahead and do a bit of trading and pick up a medicine and look for a bionic ear for Cuz. I do think that's a silly debuff, but now that our trading's done, we're going to go ahead and do our Yeoman Ceremony for Forath. I'm sure that our Empire friends just love our home. And as Justinia waits, we will begin our bestowing ceremony with a negative 32.3 room impressiveness, so probably not going to go so well. They don't talk in these, so just watch as Forath gets a Psylink. And a title of Yeoman. And of course, it was unimpressive, not to be surprised. She did get solar pinhole, which although I think puts a little heat in the room, I'll take because it means we can light our rooms without having to use wood. So go ahead and put the torches on do not refill and drop our solar pinholes in the rooms and head off to bed. Can see that Novo's still pretty unhappy, but we are getting some comfort from those bedrolls. As everyone's settling in, we have a traveler's request for alms. Two travelers with a child wanting 2 medicine. Go take a look, and we have Oscar, who I've never seen this pawn, but if you recognize the name, I believe he is one of the people in charge of Vanilla Expanded and the Vanilla Expanded mods, but was incapable of violence, so incapable of joining the colony. We have Olga, who is a Neanderthal, Night Owl, quick sleeper brawler, good melee, good plants, good animals. All in all, a pretty good pawn, but Neanderthals are, I believe, slow studies, and so really the stats won't change much. And with trying to keep with impids, yeah, there's the slow study, so global learning factor times 50%. So while overall a good pawn and probably fine if she didn't gain much, beyond what she already had, I did decide not to kidnap her. And the child was a psychically deaf baseliner. So as our travelers run up towards the colony, or I guess slowly walk, want to say thanks for watching RimWorld today. We're going to go ahead and call this episode done for today. I do have a psychic soothe hit right as we end. So I want to say thanks for watching. And as always, have a pleasant day.